welcome. My name is Mark Nutting, and I am the president of the Easton Business Association. And we are here, and well, what we are here is, I'm looking for my remote. That'd help. And one of the things that we have started doing with Easton Business Association is, one of the things I first want to do is thank our sponsors. This is how we are funded, is by sponsorship alone. We are a standalone organization. We are not part of the city. We are run by businesses for businesses, to both to promote businesses, to help educate business owners and managers, and to act as an advocate when we can from the business owners to the city. So, and we function completely by our sponsorship, and our gold sponsors are Merchants Bank, Roosevelt Advisors, and Cliff Ross Advertising Marketing. So, topic today, top 10 low-cost marketing tips, strategies. When we start this all out, we start to think about marketing in general. You have to realize that marketing has changed through the years. And it used to be that, we would place ads on in the newspaper, in the magazines, on the radio, on television. All of these things are what Seth Godin, sort of a business guru, has quoted as being interruption marketing. And the idea of interruption marketing is that whatever you're doing, it's going to interrupt that. So if you're reading an article and suddenly there are 5 pages of ads, and then you have to catch up with the article, the back end of the magazine. I'm sure you've experienced that, and just going, okay, where is it? Where's the rest of the story? That's an interruption. And interruption marketing is classically kind of that ad thing. Advertising and marketing. Advertising is sort of part of marketing. Advertising is really about creating awareness. So yes, ads still do work. So on the radio still does work and all that. But that's not how we really relate to people now and create our target market or work with their target market. Now, marketing has really gotten into what he called permission marketing, or what it really is creating relationships with people. So it's not so simple. That really changed when, they call it Web 2.0. If you're old enough, I don't know, to remember when the internet changed. It wasn't just, websites were not just a static advertisement. They suddenly became interactive. And when things become interactive, that's when you can create a relationship, and people started talking to the companies, and you can have that conversation and build rapport, build trust. Okay, now before you get into marketing, you have to define your niche. And Justina, you've already got your niche, and that's great because it's very specific. And the more specific that is, the easier it is to find your target market, your demographic. But it's really important. And once you, until you do that, you're just throwing stuff out there. So you really need to know who your business is for and who you're trying to market to. And then everything you do beyond that really is framed for that. Yes, you can throw out some ads or some marketing campaign that spreads the word generally. But that's sort of, it's sort of like if you look at a direct marketing where you just put it in an advertisement in the mailings and it goes out. Direct marketing has about a 1 to 3% return on that, which is a very low percent. For some people, that's fine. That's enough to make a difference. But it's a very low percentage thing. So targeting is much better as you go through that. Now, face-to-face marketing, number one, face-to-face marketing. And this is for people who are local. It's interesting because some of the people who said they might be coming here, included a restaurateur as well as some brick and mortar stores. And those entities are more than just local people, but I'm going to address local people first if you're trying to address or trying to attract a local market. Of course, if you want to be a destination, there are other ways of doing that too. We can discuss that toward the end. But face-to-face marketing, networking, is, in my eyes, one of the most important things you can do. And in doing this is attend to everything. When Heather and I got here and we were planning to open Jiva Fitness, we were never so social as we were that first 6 months. We went to everything. We went to every EBA networking thing there was. We went to gallery opens, local shows, city events, celebrations, new business ribbon cuttings, not even our own, but somebody else's ribbon cuttings, go to them. And this was before I was on the EBA board. So it was really just us trying to get to know new businesses in the area. So get out, you can't really connect until you get out of your facility. If you have a brick and mortar, get out of the brick and mortar and go see people. So this was just outside, actually, and my first introduction to the mayor, and that's Ron Morris, who at the time was the Business Association president. If you have your business, you want to have your own ribbon cutting. If you haven't done it in years and you still, need one, go for it. It doesn't have to be day one. Number two, volunteer in your community. So another way to get known is by volunteering your time, which is certainly a twofold thing. One, you want to volunteer. You want to think about your target market. What in your target market might you volunteer in? So look at the organizations, the nonprofit organizations that need help, or maybe they're for-profit as well. But look for that who are looking for volunteers and can use help, and this way you get to interact personally with your target market. So volunteer, nonprofit organizations, hospital, schools, charity events, and again, looking to first off what's out there, and then which of these opportunities really speaks to my target market, or where am I going to find my people there? Okay, this was a volunteer. This was GEDP, Greater Eastern Development Partnership event. This was the Halloween walking tour, and this was our first year. Heather's my first year here. We got here in August. This is October, and I was already roped into, being part of the cast. So get out there, feel like you can do stuff. Join in, take part. This is Beards for Breast in 2009. This was 2018. Sorry, that was 2018. Where you grow a beard. I don't know if you know, Tristina, what the Beards for Breast was, but they have. Yeah. So ultimately, we guys grow beards, and then people bid on it to shave it off, and raising money for a cancer support group, a local cancer support group, and great cause, good thing to do. I think Dustin was in the same one. Great thing to do, but also it still is a time when Mark Nutting is sitting out there and people hear Mark Nutting's name, Mark Nutting's doing something good. It's good karma, as you do that. So while you're doing good, you're also an inroad into people's minds. So you can do well by doing good. Join groups and organizations, Chamber of Commerce. It has a little dollar sign after there, just simply because these are supposed to be low-cost marketing, and the Chamber of Commerce is not a low-cost deal. But you look to other business associations too. EBA, Eastern Business Association, is a free organization. So if you don't belong, you should join. Everything we do has no cost to it. Rotary clubs, Kiwanis clubs, booster clubs, women's groups, all those things are groups and organizations that you can join, again, looking to make inroads and create relationships with your target market. Speak in public. You're always looking to become the go-to person in your industry, whatever it is. If people want to find out something about that, you want to be that person they think of. Go, well, this person knows about that. For me, it's the, knows about fitness, so Mark it becomes a reliable source of fitness information. If you have somebody who's, an accountant, if he puts out good information, talks about it, gets his name out there and helps share that information, he becomes the go-to person. With your niche, the same idea. It's great. I don't know of another store around like that. So you become the go-to. And part of that is get an opportunity to speak in public about, those issues, So information, again, you forget this is kind of my genre, but look to speak at businesses, schools, other community organizations, standalone, which means create your own venue. A lot of people, don't know, they're going, well, I don't know how to get involved at this, there's no events that seem to fit me or whatever. Create your own. We'll talk about our festivals here. We have we're Festivalville, Festivus, for the rest of us. So there's not really a health and wellness or health and fitness festival going on. I know there's a couple of wellness things around, but not really hitting what I hope. So my goal, in the next year is to really start to organize a health and wellness festival. So if it's not there, create your own. But those opportunities to speak in public, that's like, if you think about, they say a picture's worth 1,000 words. So if you post something or you write something, that's great. A picture adds that extra layer. Video adds an even bigger layer because now they can see your personality, they can see how you interact, facial expressions, they can read you. And even more, one step more if it's in person, because now they can interact with you, and it's just that one more layer of how quick and easy it is to get to know these people and create a relationship. This is me just, and sorry, it's not about the me show, but this is one example of, jumping in and trying to do this stuff. So this is Pachakacha, which, you could debate the pronunciation of that. Looks like Pechakucha. But this is at that extension in the State Theater. And we had that running, and it's a 6-minute, 40-second presentation. I happen to be doing it on brain fitness. You get bonus points if you know what that shot is from. Come on, nerd. You don't know?
I was trying to figure that out earlier.
It is a Star Trek. Yeah. It's the menagerie and the use of which is, I can't remember if it's the pilot or it's certainly one of the first ones. But anyway, so, get up there. And I was talking about brain fitness, and it's something I've done a great deal of research on. But again, out in front of 150 people or so. And again, we're hosting educational workshops, learning to lift workshop. This is part of Create Your Own. And Pachakacha, that was me stepping forward to be able to speak for them. And then if nothing's going on, you know what? We need to do some workshops. We need to do this. So put that out there. Create your own. Whether it's a workshop or, it could be a book reading, or autograph. They had the book. Were you around for the book festival? Yeah. I know you've been around because you're local. But, so that was something that Andy and Rebecca created. And what a great event, to have an Easton Book Festival. But it didn't exist, so they created it. Those are the perfect examples. Create content. Now, creating content in general, it's like creating an event. You can look at create content, write for local newspapers, op-eds, whatever. You could be the go-to person for your particular topic. And again, but as you do this, you still want to couch this in your target market. What publications, what sites, what places is my target market reading going to? So create content, online news sites, blogs. If anybody in business, everybody in business should have a blog or a podcast or something going on where they can reach out further, create content. YouTube, newsletters, podcasts, it's there. Create contests, challenges, or events. These are, again, you're looking for an opportunity to get people involved, to create a positive impression of you and your business. And you can, again, create or jump into these things. Again, I happen to have these targeted toward fitness, but at the same time, a contest, a challenge, an event, it could be an event. If you're a restaurateur, maybe it is, coming up with recipes for something, or maybe, whatever that is, have some kind of challenge or have an event that goes on. It can be a single day event, it's really, it's one of those where you sit back and you brainstorm and just go, what could we do? What would be fun to do? People like to do fun things. What kind of event could that be? We did bingo. Now, this one, you did bingo too afterwards. Didn't you do bingo?
We did a bingo event.
Yeah. So bingo, I stole this. Steal these, by the way. Please do. But I stole this directly from an organization, Association of Fitness Studios had an article, and one club was doing bingo, and I just got, that's kind of a neat game challenge, to get people to do stuff within our business. So bring a guest, try this class, leave a review, so the choices, you make choices that are appropriate for your business. What would work for your bingo, And again, the bingo's one example. We had a little prize, people had fun. It was a fun event, and we actually got a fair amount of referrals from this. You can see we have a couple places where it has leave a review and bring a guest are in there. So great opportunity to get more people involved and know more about you. We also still doing a choose to change thing where people will grab a wristband, I choose to change, and choose 1 to 3 small behaviors to change, and so it's an opportunity for people to be a little bit more mindful of, whether it's through the holidays or whatever it is, of something. And these bands are cheap, but they're kind of a cool thing. A lot of organizations use them. Is there some event or some challenge or something you could use them for? Contests, challenges, and events. Get local businesses to sponsor. Easton is so good about, you can go to any business and they're like, here, have, absolutely. We donate, everything from a month of group fitness to personal training packages to whatever, for local events. These are great ways to have people experience it, but then again, it's still, even if you're looking at the marketing aspect, it's not just that one person gets this, it's that people look at it as part of that prize listings. So your name is still getting out there. And businesses are really happy to do that. So get local businesses to sponsor. Donate prizes. Make it a charity event. A lot of people are doing that. Facebook's actually become very good at, you're having a birthday. It's a charitable event. They're hitting me up. My birthday's coming up. So they're like, okay, pick an event. But you can even, speaking of just charity in general, actually Third Street Alliance is my Amazon Smile account. Yeah, it has been for actually a couple of years. But so with that, the charitable thing always in mind, you pick the local charities you want to support. And again, it should be something you believe in, something you feel strongly about, and you really try to make it your target market. What do you feel strongly about there? Create press releases. You can do press releases. They're not as big an item as they used to be, but you can certainly keep doing that and see what you can get out of those. It's not like reporters tend to come to events, these days. It's not the same thing, but you look for those opportunities that you can create and let people know something's happening. Now this. You guys are familiar with the Freddie Awards, and are you aware of the Flat Freddie thing? So Flat Freddie, this is, you'll see this, there's a cutout of Freddie. That it was an Instagram, Facebook, Instagram, all that stuff, challenge, so to speak, an event, where you have your picture taken at the theater or wherever you want with Freddie. And I can't remember the guidelines to the whole thing. Doesn't even matter. It's just the concept of it. I was doing this while I was preparing this. This was going on while I was preparing this presentation for another company, and it made me laugh. So, and this is Flat Jackson. So this is our younger son, Flat Jackson, and he's just on a paint stick, and we have some friends out in front. These are friends of the family. Flat Jackson, and that's actually Flat Moxie. So we have Flat Jackson, Flat Moxie. But we had fun just running around town with this. I got a couple pictures in here, but Heather has like a ton of shots. She has them outside, hiding behind all kinds of different signs and things like that with the head peeking out. What if, you took your favorite employee or whatever, and made flat signs and take your employee to lunch event or whatever that might be. For me, in the fitness, realm, I was immediately thinking, oh, you know what? Take your favorite trainer, and maybe you get a face where it's a shocked face, and when your meal is not quite so good, you're looking over your shoulder, whatever. Be creative, have some fun. But I thought this was hilarious. We played around with it. There's the real Jackson and the Flat Jackson and Flat Moxie. Now, what are they cheering about? As you're creating events, you can start to use, again, this is partly a benefit. This is zombie boot camp, but this is just tying into an event that's already going on. It's a holiday, and this was a food drive. This is when we were living in Maine. It's actually Saco Food Pantry. So the admission was donating non-perishable food. So taking that, creating an event, you start to utilize the holidays that are there. Those are natural ones. Then you look to what's going on event-wise. This obviously is not current, but it was when I presented this the first time. And you think about how big an event that was. But it's also like Super Bowl, or it's like any of the major events. Those are great opportunities to tie in some kind of marketing thing. Start to look for where you can start to do that. And, it could be everything. One of the brothers from Amman's had signed up for this, didn't make it this morning. But, if you took this and you were even trying to think, what could I do with this in Amman's? Well, maybe they were all going to Amman's, and you Photoshop them in sitting down at Amman's, so that you tie it into the event and make it about your company. But use those. Did you know today, December 10th, is National Lager Day. Every day is something, So it's really a matter of finding those somethings and tying them in. You want some, one of the times I presented this, it was World Champagne Day, and they were all like, "Yes, please." Yeah. So, but this is just a quick search, and it's National Lager Day. But you find the ones that are appropriate for your business. So there's actually a website which is National Health Observances for me to go to, and it'll tell you this is Men's Prostate Cancer Awareness Month, and Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and Dental Hygiene Month or week or day, or they have all those. And you start to go, which one of these feels like it's important to my audience? And create an event around that. Team up with other businesses. People think when the idea of working with other businesses, particularly if you're in the same industry, is like forbidden. And it couldn't be more wrong. There are plenty of people, there really are plenty of people for all of us, And it's like with your bookstore. To join forces with other bookstores, that's a great way to do the event. And to be part of an event that's out there like the book festival, things like that. To join forces. You have more ideas together. More heads are better than one. And is a greater awareness in the community of it when there are more entities taking part in it. Photography. You could have photographers, give workshops, have photographic weekend. You know, you could have create a competition for people taking pictures. You know, all that, a whole photographic thing. You know, so it's really up to you to start to think about those things. But that comes together when you start to join forces. You know, it's tough to sit in your room and come up with stuff. But if you start to connect with other people, there's a lot more opportunity. This is one I always wanted to do. I've actually talked to Tomias. Actually, no, I talked to both the guys. I wanted to do in my head, I want to do a dry try, which is, you know, we have a great bike shop, Easton Outdoor Company. The owner of Easton Outdoor Company does a lot of, well, he used to do a lot of race stuff. He still does some race organization, but road races, running. So we have biking, running, and I don't swim. So we're not swimming, but I thought about doing a dry try, doing an obstacle course. So if we put together an event, there's 3 businesses, you get 3 times the press, you get 3 times the power of, you know, support, everything. Joining together is a nice way to create an event. You also want to create a professional referral network. You know, if not you, who can you refer people to? In my profession, you know, it's important for me to know doctors, physical therapists, massage therapists, registered dietitians, all that stuff. Who else is a symbiotic kind of company, product, whatever? Who else works well with that? If you're looking for books, maybe it's you know, this bookstore, maybe what else goes with books? Well, you can't, you know, read books without your scotch, or whatever that might be. You're looking for the partners of that. You know, maybe it's people have lights or something appropriate. But that's an area to explore. Who can you refer people to? You know, you want to create that referral list. If you don't do one thing, you got somebody else to do that. You know, and let me pass you on. People that does a couple things. One, the big thing it does is it moves you up in that social currency. You know, you now have helped somebody. You know, it may not be you, you may not get the business out of it, but you get the goodwill that comes from referring them correctly. You know, if you get somebody good, you know, you want to make sure you're referring to good people. You know, so it's a valid and an appreciated thing. Obviously, if you refer them badly, your currency goes down. But to have those referrals is an important thing. So that's number 8. Now, asking for referrals. You know, in our business, you know, there used to be in the fitness business that you would walk in, sit down, they sign you up for membership, and then give me 5 names of people we can call. And it was always, that's the most ridiculous thing ever. We don't know enough about you to refer you yet. So what do you do? I mean, referrals are not up front. You know, they're not meant to be before you serve the person your target market. You want to ask for a referral when they've had time to really experience what you do or what you offer. You want to ask a referral when they're feeling really good about their purchase or their progress or the results or whatever that is. This is just something yesterday, you know, I don't know if you guys use QR codes or not, but I just recently went to a conference and realized, you know, I was there with QR codes when they started off, and then the whole thing sort of died. And I have let it sort of, in my mind, think it has died. It hasn't. It's come back stronger than ever. In fact, at this conference, everybody was using QR codes. And in, I think it was China, they were saying that the QR codes now actually work like Apple Pay. You can scan that and it will take care of your whole purchase at stores. So this is not going away, and start to think about that. If you notice our sign out there, our new version of our sign actually has a QR code that takes people right to our website. This QR code takes you right here for reviews. You know, so if you want to get a review, you can put a QR code on that. And you want to say, you know, it's a great, easy, you know, it's always about easy. If it's not easy, you know, if there are 10 steps to get there, it's a little harder to do. So the simpler that is, the better. And if that takes me right to the site to do that, scan it, boom, you know, hit the 5 stars, And that'll be good. It could be this. Tell your friends about us. I mean, imagine a restaurant. Imagine a restaurant on your way out, or a store on your way out. You're happy with your purchase, and maybe that's a sign on the way out. So, you liked your whole experience. It felt good. Just all you have to do, you want to make sure that you explain things, because there are a lot of people who don't know how to use QR codes. But all the smartphones now, if you hold your phone up there with the camera itself will say, do you want to go to this site? You just hit yes, boom, you're there. You haven't tried that?
No, it's not through an app anymore.
No, through an app anymore. See, that was the game changer.
Okay.
So in using the QR codes, if you hold up your phone camera to this one actually doesn't take you to, I can't remember whether I changed it or not. It's going to take you to one of those. I'm not saying that is exactly going to that refer site. I might have changed it. But I was playing around with Yelp, and I was playing around with Google reviews. But anyway, can you see it? Should come up right above. You see it? Yeah. So that's it. Now all the smartphones do that now. So it becomes a very usable thing to throw in those QR codes. And you can use that in your review. Like I said, in your review, you want to get reviews because it's that word of mouth. It's that social. What do I say? Social proof. Social proof is that you have all these reviews, 5-star reviews. Great, cool. Look at this in Yelp. All these stars. Simple, quick, easy. Now, I haven't talked about social media that much because I'm an in-person guy for the most part with the getting to know your audience, at least initially. Support with the social media, but the social media should not be, a lot of people sit in their room and let me just do Instagram, do Facebook, do whatever they're doing social media-wise, and don't get out and meet. I will stalk people. I will, if I meet you, don't be surprised if you get a friend request from me. Because as I meet people, I immediately go to Facebook and try to attempt to friend them. Because then we can carry on the conversation. We can build a deeper relationship. And that's the whole deal, is relationships. So, and then the next time we see each other, we get a little bit more to catch up on, and talk about. So use that as a support thing. Continue the conversations, answer questions, comment on things you have in common. One of the things, and I don't know if I had this here, create and share information. Well, I want to back up a little bit. I probably have this later on. But one of the things businesses talk about is, should I have a business page or use my personal page? I do both. I have, I have my fingers in a lot of pots, so I have 6 business pages that I work. But everything on my personal Facebook stream is also business and or family and friends. You just have to know the difference. Now, the reason for that is some people would take that business site and keep it real business. It's all about business, which is fine, except for they don't get to know you. And people need to know, like, and trust you to really go to you. So you got to have some personal stuff in there. I say this all the time, is you need to be able to say, in my stream, maybe I say that my kids were Boy Scouts. I went to this Boy Scout thing. They were at one point. And then you get people commenting, going, my kids are Boy Scouts. Deeper relationship, deeper connection. So that combination of personal, whether you put personal on your business or business in your personal, that's up to you, but you need to combine both. You need to have both there. People need to know who you are. A lot of times in smaller businesses, you are the business. But even if you're not, if you're just a person in the business, you are, it's still important for you to share that stuff. People get to know you, if you're working in a bank and you're doing such and such types of things, you want to share your bank information or share some personal information as they let you. I know there are a lot of rules in the banking sector, but so people, who's your friendly banker? Who do you know, like, trust? It's like Anna Riddle, who's a friend and a board member of the EBA, works at Merchants Bank. And she, will come visit your business when they first open. She's, a darling. And she, you can't help but like her and want to do business with her. And if you don't get personal, you don't feel that, as we just looking at changing for our business, changing banks for our business. Who would I go to? Well, okay, I didn't start off with Merchants Bank, but they feel pretty good. It feels like a family there. So that's the kind of thing you need to do. You need to get to share that personal and professional so they know, like, trust you. And as you do that, the stuff you share, you can create information. We were talking about creating, stuff. And whether you're writing a blog or a podcast or something else, share it on your social media. Get it out there. Let people know. Again, you're trying to create a sense that you're the go-to person for this. If you're not a good creator, and a lot of people go, I just can't write or whatever. I blog a fair amount now. I've written a book, which really essentially came from the fact that people are aware that I blogged a lot. And but I killed a whole bunch of blogs. I can think of at least 8 to 10 blogs that just go, I just blew that. No big deal. Get rid of it. Try again. Start again. But if creating is not your thing, curate. Find the information that's good. And I do this all the time because I'm constantly scanning to see what's out there about my industry, and this whether you're looking at things that are appropriate for art or literature or whatever, share the ones that are going, well, this is kind of cool, cool information. Share that. After relationships are built and established, that's when you invite people to participate. Or, I think it's Gary Vaynerchuk. He at one point had said that you want to give long before you ever ask for anything. So, rather than, a lot of people use social media and whatever they're doing as a selling tool, and that's all about sales. It is a sales tool, but it's creating inroads, is what it should be. Not, hi, good to meet you, buy my product. That's harsh, and people, justifiably back off from that. And what you want to do is down the road, here, take this information. Oh, we're having a sale. You like that kind of stuff, so by the way. So after you create the relationship, then you can start to integrate them appropriately. If you really do know that, I get, and I'm sure you guys get it too, I get offers all the time. I connected to somebody on LinkedIn day before yesterday, and got this big long, I've read your profile, da-da-da-da-da, you're going, I can help your business, da-da-da-da-da, and you're going, if you read my profile, the book I wrote was on business. So, you obviously didn't read my profile, and you just spammed me. So what's my feeling about this person who just hit me up for a sale, and we haven't even really had a conversation? Well, okay, don't need that connection anymore. So you want to be somebody that they want to know more about. Back to Seth Godin's permission marketing. There are levels of permission too. Permission, can I, talk to you about this? Or, your permission, getting an email list. If they say you put out a white paper, an information paper, that's free, just, enter your email address and we'll send it to you. That's a level of permission. They know you're giving an email, and you can go ahead and use that email for additional information. You like that? Here's another piece of information that's on top of that. And again, here's where you give before you say, oh, by the way, here, I've written this book. Hopefully, it would be I think it would be of interest to you. So, and that's inviting them to participate. Now, here's your bonus. Now, this is number 11. Create a marketing calendar. We're in the perfect time to talk about this because it's either it starts today or it starts, soon enough in the new year. but you should map out your whole year now. That doesn't mean you can't change it, but you want to start looking at things. Look at the holidays. You know, I know I got one of these. You know when the major holidays are. You know major events. I mean, where are the festivals in Easton? What are the dates? I was going to do this for Easton Business Association. I was going to try to put them up on the calendar for next year. They don't have dates on all of them. You know about when they are, but you don't have dates. So, but pay attention to that. Know about when they are, because you don't want to have something going on that conflicts with a major event. You know, or you want that major event to be part. You want to be part of that major event. You know, so either use it or avoid it, whatever you feel is appropriate, but you don't want to conflict with it. So know when those are. Put that in your calendar. Obscure holidays. This is the one where you can get holidays every day of the week. You know, so if you want, that's the website. If you want that, just shoot me an email and I'll send you the link. But events, campaigns, start laying that all out. So once you get to the calendar, just do this and start to, create that and go through and, okay, here's major holidays, across the board. Now the secondary holidays, the holidays appropriate to specifically to my target market, which may be for me, health observances, what are the ones that I think are appropriate, get those in there. Festivals, those. And then you start to go, where are the dead parts? Because you want to be constantly marketing, doing something. So where am I not going to have a campaign? Where is that not going to, where are the holes in that? And that's why it's important to lay this out, is because now I can have a visual of seeing, wow, I got nothing in this month. Now, is that the way it should be, or I should have something in there? Okay, and if there's nothing going on, create your own. That's where you sit there and go, I'm going to, create Festivus, or whatever, your own. Heather wants to have a cheese festival, wine and cheese festival. Why not? But, so create your own when you see those dead spots. What can I do to keep information going? Remember, it's really important to do. Why this whole interaction thing is important and to keep engaging with people is because, if you, it's like friending somebody. You friend somebody on Facebook and then you never interact with them, they're going to forget who you are, And, so it's important to be in front of them, top of mind. This Aman's did too. I mean, I pulled this yesterday. This was on social media. And one of the things, as you go through this, if there's an issue with your business, address it. Back to make it simple. They're just dealing. They didn't know how to use the parking. Parking's become an issue. So they specifically went to, if you park here, here we are. I think that was great. I think that's super. You just made that really easy for them to not get frustrated looking for parking. They know where it is, and they know how to get to you from that parking. I think that's a great piece of information. But I mean, just the idea is, can I make it easier for them to come to my business? Now, how do I do that? Okay, so how are we doing here? Oh, that's not bad. Questions? What do you guys got? What crosses your mind with all this? A lot to think about? Anything to think about?
So I'm here basically because we're going to be growing the Learning Center at 3rd Street. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think of ways to get parents from not just low income, but from all of Easton, So
So let's use that as an example. So you want who are you trying to get in touch with?
parents of kids that are infants to pre-kindergarten.
Mm-hmm. Have you guys ever done anything with Project of Easton?
I don't think we've partnered with them.
You overlap
Yeah, some of it, yes.
some of it. So I mean, that might be a nice thing to do as we're talking about partnerships and all that stuff. Is to, and again, the power of partnerships. You have 2 complete mailing lists to work from. So that's a big deal to start off with, getting more exposure in something. But so you're looking for now. How do you typically get in touch with parents?
Depends. It's a lot of word of mouth.
Mm-hmm.
So our current families that are enrolled, it's a lot of them pushing out or, telling a friend, telling a family member. Sometimes through Facebook, sometimes through just being at events.
So, and this is when you start to analyze the whole thing. Is going if you're trying to connect with these parents of these children, and the other questions you are going, where do they hang out? What kinds of things do they do? If I wanted to train, back to us for a second, if I want to work with high school athletes, and that means I have to get in touch with the parents. Where do the parents do? A lot of them are in the booster clubs. So is there an organization or events or things that they do? Maybe it's a church. Maybe it's something else where I can start to target. You look for where you can find that audience. What do they do? What do they read? That's when you're choosing your periodicals. Who reads this? There are some periodicals that are, high end and going, okay, that's not who I'm working with. So that's inappropriate for me to waste my time and waste my money on that. I want to look at the periodicals that are appropriate to the demographic that I'm looking for. But that's one thing. Where do they consume their information? In using social media. If I wanted to target my younger son, Facebook, not so much. Instagram, yes, that's kind of home base. So choosing the social media that's appropriate for them too to reach out. Are they on social media? If they're not, there are people who aren't on social media, and how are you going to get them? Well, maybe it's email. So we get to look at everything, how to connect with them, and that may be who really is an analysis of anytime you're going through this, the idea is that you go through you're looking for that perfect avatar, which is, this is who I work with, and you describe them, so you could put a face on that person. They're this age, they're this, they have this, 1 to 2 kids, whatever, kids. You want to create that perfect avatar, and then what does it then analyze that avatar to say, what do they do? Where do they go? Where can I connect with them? Maybe it's a campaign, maybe it's a referral campaign, maybe it is a contest, maybe something where bring a guest, those kinds of things to get them more involved. There's no one answer to all this stuff. So it's exploring stuff. And then you say, okay, that really didn't work. Or it worked really well. How do I make it better? So again, looking at your individual thing, I was just trying to think, connecting with the university, it may be a good idea to start to look at their studies, and where's the overlap? Who are the instructors up there? And have them come to your store and speak, or whatever else too. So all of it starts with that who is my person, and how am I going to reach out to them? Well, it depends on how they live. Where are they? What neighborhood are they coming from? I mean, do you get people from all over, or for those programs? So all over the town, and even out of Easton, or just Easton?
So I think we have folks who live in Palmer and Forest.
Okay. So it's important to know that there was a draws too, and where are they from? What's their neighborhood? What's in their neighborhood? To help you target them. Other questions or even quandaries about your business? Questions or quandaries, kind of the same thing, but I like quandaries. Anything?
What I've been doing is just like putting it out there, like on Facebook and Instagram. I'm starting a YouTube channel. That was very tough for me.
I'm sorry, you did?
I started a YouTube channel.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't want to, but I was saying, you have to do this. But just to get it out there,
Mm-hmm.
just to see who's interested. And I get really great feedback, especially on Instagram, because
Yeah.
there are just so many hashtags and so many different
Right.
like other contests that I've been a part of now just to get the name out there.
Mm-hmm.
So with the YouTube
Now, you are not in business yet?
No.
Okay. Do you have a sort of a date where this?
It's funny because I met with Kim.
Yep.
That's yesterday, and she's like, "What is your timeline?" And I'm like, "Now." But I mean, realistically, it's just I'm getting everything in order, like just taking each step, getting the name registered, did all of that.
Sure.
The
Yep.
EBA, like all of that. But so now it's just a matter of finding a space.
Mm-hmm.
And just making it happen. So.
And do you have your sort of dream inventory ready?
Oh yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. Good.
I did ABA. I did all of that.
Yeah.
I have my list like ready to go.
Okay.
Like on it, but
The video stuff, great, good. Don't worry about the quality of the video. I mean, yes, it's important. People notice quality, but content is always the most important thing. If the content is good, they'll forgive anything. So just content. Be honest. Be true. Again, talking about you is great, but engaging them with, did you ever wonder about, or something historical, or, start to talk about events, and, but the video is great. Then you have to push it in your different venues. Is your target market on Facebook, or are they all on Instagram, or what? So start to push it in there. I mean, your blog in and of itself, your podcast, your video, it's very hard to track if that's all you do. It's just there it is. Then you got to send it all around. If you got an email list, send the link. Those kinds of things, or embed it. If you had a video, maybe you can embed it in your emails as well, to start to make sure that they're seeing that. And they may never follow you directly on YouTube, but they may subscribe to your email list or your newsletter kind of thing if they're getting those on a regular basis. Content is king. So I think that's great, getting that all lighting those all up. But you start to look for, in marketing that, I mean, that's a great idea. But again, for you, I think connecting with those people of influence, I think the universities, start to look at the universities, create an event. I think that'd be a great event,
Well, I have really great relationships with Lafayette and Lehigh. I've presented there quite a few times, but it's different now because I was in reproductive healthcare for the past 8 years.
Yeah.
And now it's like, never mind, bookstore.
Oh yeah, well I mean,
Well,
you mean, but the connections you've already made there start to say, who do you know in the Black Studies department, and that they may know people. It's typically how that all works. Is we don't have to. Don't have to be like lifetime friends to know other people that can help us connect. And so that sounds great. By the way, I mean, just all that stuff sounds like it's the right idea. Anything else? Thank you guys for coming.